Hello and welcome. This is Best Foot Forward Shoes, the podcast. My name is Harrison Cable. Thank you so much for checking in and watching this latest podcast episode. Today, again, we have a very special guest all the way from America. We have Sam Dopkosky, resident New Balance expert. And today we are going to be looking at our top 10 New Balance releases / pickups of the year. So today we are going to we've got some in hand, but some of them we just appreciate from afar, or weren't able to pick up, or they released super quickly, and unfortunately we weren't able to pick every single shoe up. But we're going to be having a chat about that. So thank you so much for joining us, Sam. How are you doing, mate? What's going on in your world? We're nearly close to Christmas. Do you have any plans, any shoes you're going to be picking up in the New Year sales? What's going on?
Well, thanks for having me back. It's a pleasure to be back here again. I'm really looking forward to talking about our top 10 list. Basically, I'm just enjoying the holidays, getting ready for Christmas. Gonna be looking for some steals here soon and see if I can find any shoes on sale. And yeah, just kind of vibing out, chilling, relaxing.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, been pretty busy lately. It's been a rough old kind of couple of months, which is kind of usual leading into Christmas and such like that. But I'm pretty excited about the shoes that we're going to be talking about today. So without any further ado, no dilly-dallying, let's quickly get into the first one. So I'm going to go first, and then Sam's going to go next. So we're going to be going tit for tat and have a little bit of discussion about these ones. So my first one, number 10, drum roll please, is the Salehe Bembury 530. This was a shoe that was released around, I think it was October this year. And I picked this one up from an Australian retailer, which was pretty easy, to be honest. They weren't exactly a sellout. They did eventually sell out in most sizes, but there are still a couple of sizes available. So if you want to pick this one up, you probably can still for a good price on resale. But as you can see, I actually changed out the laces because that was really the only thing I wasn't a fan of was the laces. So they came with the kind of generic, how do you describe it? It's almost like a yellowy fluoro, but a little bit more toned down from a fluoro color. They came with those laces, but I decided to flick them out for a pair of blue laces that I have lying around, and I think it really complements it. Something else I really like about the shoe is just the lightweight nature of it, but also it's still very comfortable. The styling's very nice. Obviously, Salehe Bembury has a unique sort of style, and I feel like this is definitely staying true to his design language, and I really, really like this one. So this is my number 10. Any thoughts on that one, Sam?
I actually really like this sneaker. I love Salehe Bembury. I have the 990 V2 from him. And I was actually going to buy these shoes. I had them, like I sat in the queue on New Balance. I got into about to order them, and I was like, it was the day before the Amine drop. And I was like trying to decide which one I wanted. I was like, all right, I backed out last second. And then he released them again on his website, like on Black Friday. I passed up on them again, but the resale prices are pretty cheap, so I might end up still picking up a pair. But I think they're great. It's a very Salehe Bembury shoe. And it is green, but I feel like it's pretty neutral to the point where you could wear it most days. So I respect that being your number 10.
Nice. It definitely is very kind of wearable. It's actually not as loud as it really looks. So yeah, we're going to have a look at Sam's number 10 here now. So if I can grab that one real quick. Your number 10, sir, is the 991 V2, a shoe that we are going to probably be seeing a lot in this list because the 991 V2 was super hot this year. This is the vintage sport colorway. Now, Sam, give us a little rundown of this one. Why is it your number 10?
So I didn't end up picking up this sneaker, but I remember when it came out, I was like, I thought it was the greatest 991 V2 to come out yet. It's probably my top 3 from just that colorway. I love it so much. I think it's so neutral, and it's a GR release essentially, so there's not really that many like hype behind it. I just think it's a great colorway. It reminds me of like those NMDs. I don't know if you remember like NMDs, the Adidas NMD with the blue and the red tabs on the bottom. That's what it reminds me of. I just think it's a great colorway. I like the off-white sense of it. I think it came out with the 1500, like a New Balance 1500. But I just think any colorway you throw on the 911 V2 is going to look great. And I think this just does a phenomenal job with it.
Moving on to number 9, the New Balance 475 in the pine green colorway. Now, this shoe I did have, but I actually returned it just because I wasn't feeling the fit of it. But however, I did really, really love the colorway. So this was definitely my number 9. I also put it in number 9 because I liked the way that the 475 was rolled out this year. There was a couple of collaborations with End. There was one with Armé Leon Dore. And then there was a lot of general release 475. So this is a shoe that I think kind of deserves a little bit more limelight. It didn't really get a lot of play this year, but I really liked the way that it looked. I really liked the way that it felt. But again, we can't pick up every single shoe or keep every single shoe. But I think that this deserved to be in number 9, just simply because of how awesome I felt like it looked. And I really liked the way that New Balance rolled this one out. What are your thoughts on this one, Sam?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's a great sneaker. I do feel like it did fly under the radar. Not so many people like picked it up or wore it. But this colorway, I mean, it's just how could you go wrong with it? It's not an everyday wear sneaker, just because it's predominantly green. But I think it's a great sneaker, and it's a sneaky pickup. Like it's a good one to get.
Number 9 for Mr. Sam Dopkosky is the 990 V6 Joe Freshgoods in the prom blue colorway. I believe this one was called. Now, this is definitely your favorite 990 V6 of the year. Interestingly enough, just spoiler alert, I didn't actually have any 990 V6 on my release this year. So give us a little bit of a rundown of this, and why does this deserve your number 9 spot?
So I actually did pick this one up. When I bought this, I bought it off a New Balance website. It was like I was super excited because I was able to like get it for retail. But I love Joe Freshgoods. I feel like his storytelling when it comes to shoes is just uncomparable to other collaborators. And the videos he does, the rollouts. I love this sneaker. It also came out with the Paris Red, which was the all red pair. Those are great, but this blue is just so like pretty. It's just, it's so like I don't even know how to describe it. It's a great looking sneaker. I love that it's all one color. It looks really good on foot. That's one of the main reasons why I like it so much. And I mean, come on, it's a 990 B6. How could you go wrong?
Yeah, definitely. That's that I thought about this one again. It came with another colorway that came in the red, as you said before. But however, I just did not really feel like it would have suited my style, if you know what I mean. It's definitely one
Yeah,
of those shoes that you've got to be a certain kind of fashionista, and I don't feel like I'm that I'm that fashion forward to be able to pull this shoe off. And it's also a little bit limiting, I feel, in terms of it's obviously all one color, and it's all a color that is very bright and pastel. So I'd probably be worried about getting it dirty. But I definitely
yeah,
liked what Joe Freshgoods did with this 990 V6. It was around like the Paris Olympics time, around July.
hmm
So it had that kind of Paris Fashion Week kind of vibes. So no, I definitely
right.
respect this as a number 9 shoe. No, moving on to number 8. This is one of my favorite shoes of the year. My favorite 993. This is the 993 in the mushroom velvet colorway. So this shoe was a very recent pickup. This one here, we have, obviously your chocolatey brown, your black sole. Brown has pretty much been my favorite color of the year. Interestingly enough, I'm not sure where that came from. It just kind of snuck up on me that I just seem to be picking up a whole bunch of brown leather or brown suede shoes. I just really like the colors this year. And then you got that little hit of yellow there, which when you're wearing the shoe, you actually can't see a huge amount of it, but it really does look good. The purple tongue as well is really nice, and obviously the 993 made in USA comfort is unparalleled. Like the craftsmanship, the made in USA line is obviously very prolific in what they do, and I really enjoy that one. So that is my number 8 shoe. Any thoughts on that one, Sam?
I remember when these came out. It was obviously a Teddy Santis release. I wasn't a fan of them at first. Like when I saw just the original product pictures, I was like, oh, these aren't any good. Like, but then you really look into it and you realize that I didn't know that that was like a purple mesh. And then you take into consideration that they are brown. I'm like you. I love brown sneakers. I love wearing the color brown. It's a great color to wear. And then you throw in the fact that yeah, it's a 993. I think the 993 is one of the most premium feeling New Balances out there. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously 990 is great, but just the 993 is so different. That's a great sneaker and definitely worth being on a list.
So it actually is, yeah. You look at that picture, it doesn't look very purple, but you can actually kind of see there is
Right.
almost like what I would call is like a plum
hmm
purple. It looks actually a lot better in person than it did, even though it looks good in the picture. And
Right.
I'm not a huge fan of those white laces that are in this picture, as you can see. I kept the brown laces because I just thought
Yeah.
that kind of just matched the aesthetic a bit more. But I mean, if they came with like a purple or even like a yellow lace, I was like, why did they not come with a
That would
yellow
be
pair of
sweet.
laces? That would have been
Yeah.
awesome, but anyway, it is what it is. We'll move on to your number 8, sir. So your number 8 here is the Salehi Bembury. Again, Salehi Bembury makes another appearance with the 1906 Lava. This one was, and I kind of actually forgot about this shoe, if I'm honest. Give us a
Yeah.
rundown of this one and when it came out, and if you picked this one up.
These came out, I think, in like earlier this year, like January. It came out with another pair, like the Magmas, I think they were called. They were like blue and red, and they were very, very limited. Yeah, there's the Magma right there. They were very limited. I think that the lava is a little better just because it has like that distressed midsole and those colors just blend together so well. And the silvers. It's honestly one of my favorite 1906s. I feel like the 1906 had a huge year this year with the
Yeah.
loafers and just all the variations of it. It was a great sneaker. They really pushed that this year. And I'm just really upset that they didn't like make more of these sneakers because if you look at my size on StockX, it's $2,000 for a New Balance, which is crazy.
Wow.
I mean that you can get the 990 V6 Action Bronson for cheaper than that. But it's just ridiculous that it's so expensive. But I mean, I still respect it as a shoe. I'm like, what do you think of it?
I mean, I kind of forgot about it, if I'm honest. Like, there's been so many 1906Rs that have come out over this year. It's like kind of a shoe that kind of comes out in January feels like a lifetime ago. Like,
Like,
I was trying to look back and making this list. I was like, man, this feels like this was released a long, long, long time ago. Like, wasn't it last year? But no, it was this year and early in the year. So I didn't get these ones. I thought that the red was a little bit too loud for me. I'm not really a
hmm
red sneaker kind of guy, so but I definitely appreciate obviously what Salehi Bembury did with them. I think his kind of time with New Balance, especially doing like any other 1906 or 2002 Rs, is probably coming to an end. He signed
hmm
with Puma to make some kind of changes to their basketball shoes. However, I think that what he's done is obviously pretty cool, and this shoe is definitely a testament to, how he pushed his design, and you can tell it's definitely loud, and he definitely made a mark while he was still at New Balance. I'm not saying he's left, but I think
Right.
he's kind of moving on to a few other ventures like with Crocs and Puma, but this is definitely a very nice number 8 shoe for Mr. Sam. Next up, we have my number 7 shoe. This is the Action Bronson Rosewater 1906. Speaking of 1906, and this one Sam's not going to like, but yeah, got this one and I put it at number 7. Just there's a few other shoes that I just like a bit more. I definitely appreciate this one. I mean, it is light, it is comfortable, it is inspired by obviously women's shoes, like women's running athletics from the early 90s and 80s. It's got the absolute hallmarks of Action Bronson with the neon laces, the kind of interesting textures, the loud colors. So I don't want to get too many of your thoughts on this one, Sam, because I know that this may be coming up a little bit later in your list. So
hmm
I'll leave it at that. But that is my number 7 shoe. So number 7 for Sam is the Amine 740. Give us a little bit of a rundown of this one. What are your thoughts about it? What do you like about this one as your number 7 shoe?
I mean, I love Amine. I love his sneakers that he's done so far. The Moose 610 that he came out with last year is probably one of my top five favorite sneakers. So I don't think it's quite as good as that one, but I do think he did a great job with this. It's obviously inspired by his school that he went to. He did a great job marketing it. He did a great job with releasing it. I feel like if you wanted a pair, you could have got a pair. I was so mad because I was in the queue to get this shoe on New Balance, and it was my turn. It said, "Your turn's in line." As soon as I got in, my phone like turned off and crashed. So I didn't actually end up picking this pair up yet. But hopefully soon. The resale prices aren't that bad, so maybe after the holidays I'll grab a pair. But it's a great sneaker. I love the laces and I love the bright bold colors.
Nice. I actually like kind of lucky but unlucky. I doubled up on this one, so I got it from his website, but then I also forgot that I entered a raffle on an Australian website, so I got that one first, and then I had to wait another almost 2 weeks for this one to ship from the US. So and then I ended up selling the extra pair. So I mean, if you were my size, I would have sold it to you, but we're not the same
Yeah.
size, unfortunately. So, but I mean, I can speak a little bit to experience of having it on foot. It's very, very comfortable. The only downside I would really see is the laces, the bungee style laces. Um, you can't really adjust them very easily. They're a little bit hard to do, but I mean the looks and the aesthetic is pretty nice. The colors are really awesome as well, and they're, it's kind of the opposite of that Salehi Bembury 530 that I spoke about before. It looks
Hmm.
louder on foot than it does in the pictures, so it
Really?
pops more in person. The orange is a little bit more vibrant. It's still, somewhat muted. It's not like incredibly loud, but it's definitely louder and shinier than it looks in the pictures. So I definitely respect this as a number 7 pick. Move on to number 6. We have my number 6 pick is the 991 V2, the Madison Square Garden from Kith in the USA, and I did not pick this one up because I don't have $1,000 for resale, and I also, of course, I don't live in America. I live in Australia. So when these released, they were at a very bad time to try and get them, so they sold out very quickly. But I definitely appreciate the looks of this shoe. I love the styling. I love the grey paneling, the little orange hits, and the blue in the back. Madison Square Garden, for anyone who doesn't know, is the home court of the Knicks, the basketball team. So they have that kind of blue and orange Knicks styling. This one, the 991, is definitely going to continue to grow. This is the V2 version of the 991, and I think this is definitely very worthy of my number 6 spot. What do you think about this one, Sam?
I absolutely love this sneaker, and this was going to make my list, but I chose the vintage sport over it. I love this sneaker. I love the Madison Square Garden like style to it, but it's not like overly loud. It's just a very basic shoe that you could wear every day. It's Kith. It's Kith. Yeah, it's Kith. It says it right there on the 991 V2 where it's supposed to be. It's a great sneaker. I love this. I think it's, you could argue it's a one of like, it's a perfect sneaker, I'd like to say. Beautiful, beautiful color blocking, and obviously it's Kith, so how could you go wrong?
Yeah, it's definitely. They also released a 990 V6 as well in a similar sort of
Mhm, yeah.
colorway. Definitely, funny thing with Kith is I really wish they were like more accessible to Australia. Like the shipping is very high. The prices with the conversion rate is very high to Australia, and also just like the release times are at like, 2 a.m. in the morning here. So it's not exactly friendly for Australian, but I can appreciate how nice all of their releases are with their collaborations. So I definitely love this one. This was my number 6 shoe. Now we'll move on to Sam's number 6, I believe we're at, is the 1906 Jack Harlow Rose. So did you end up picking this one up, Sam? And what do you think about this one?
I have not gotten this one yet. I would love to have it. I know that you have it.
Yeah,
It's a great pair. It's very different. Obviously, it's a 1906. Yeah, it's just the laces are a little questionable. That's probably my least favorite thing, but this, yeah, I love this sneaker. I think it's very like, I feel like I would find this in like my grandmother's like room. Like I just, that's that vibe to it, and that's why I like it so much. It's just a great sneaker. The midsole is sweet. And Jack Harlow, obviously a big New Balance guy, so I'm glad that he finally got a pair.
yeah, he definitely has done his time with New Balance to be able to get a shoe like this. It wasn't
Mhm.
met with a whole lot of love, which I can kind of see.
Yeah,
It's loud. It's loud. It's
yeah,
big. It's bright. It's vibrant. It's colorful. But I think, collaborations, it should stand out. And I think that you would look at this shoe and think, oh, well, that's not a normal kind of shoe. And I
right.
appreciate that he took this sort of swing with this first shoe with New Balance. Hopefully, he maybe gets another shot with a different silhouette next year. Obviously, they're probably going to be pushing a different silhouette next year, maybe the more of the 740 next year. So if he got a
Mhm.
nice colorway of that, maybe he goes the opposite and goes a little bit toned down. So no, I definitely appreciate this as number 6. Any final thoughts on this one?
I would just like to like piggyback what you said. I like that he did a very extravagant colorway for his first collab. I feel like creators these days are kind of like taking the back seat and making something conservative. I think if you're going to do a collaboration, it should be all out and what you want it to be.
Yep, well said. Definitely very well said. Number 5. Number 5. We are halfway through. This is the ALD New Balance 1000. So again, this was a shoe that released earlier in the year, and so sometimes when shoes release earlier in the year, they kind of get forgotten. I actually really need to wear this shoe more. Like, it's so nice. The leather is so premium. The branding on it, the comfort is very nice. They do fit a little bit big, which is interesting on the 1000. I don't know what it is about my foot size or anything like that, but they definitely fit a little bit big. But these are so nice. These are definitely my number 5 shoe. The colorway, everything like that is definitely deserving of number 5. They had 3 other colors that it came with, like a gray and a black color. The 1000 has definitely been a shoe that New Balance is pushing a lot this year. So what are your thoughts on that one? In the 1000 model, just in general, overall in 2024?
I feel like New Balance did a great job with the 1000. I don't have a pair yet, but I'm like, I keep telling myself I'm waiting for like the perfect pair, like the perfect colorway. So hopefully I get a pair soon. But that pair specifically is a little sour for me because I entered in the raffle for that and I didn't get it. So I was kind of upset. I think that was the best out of the 3 pack. The other ones were obviously nice, but that's just a great neutral premium sneaker. Like, yeah, it's a collab and it's very toned down. Kind of just what we just talked about, how it's like, but ALD just it never fails to make those simple tone down. Like that's kind of what they're about. So I really, really like that sneaker, and the New Balance 1000 complements ALD perfectly.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right there. We'll move on to number 5 on this list from Sam. So this is the Minimus Action Bronson. This is the trail sneaker that he released around about October this year. This is definitely a departure from his cushy New Balance kind of 1906 or 990 V6 shoes, and he went with more of performance trail running shoes. So this is going to be one that I'm going to have to lean on Sam a little bit more because I'm not I don't have this shoe, and I've also not had a trail before. I know you have a couple, so walk us through your number 5 pick.
Yeah, so this is obviously the Action Bronson Pluto. One of my favorite silhouettes to come from this year is the Minimus. It's a very unique trail running sneaker. It's not like anything you've probably worn before. New Balance wise, it's super comfortable in a way that it's different from a 990. So you get that zero drop from heel to toe. Your foot feels connected to the ground. And then when you throw in the Action Bronson twist, it just makes it so much better. You have this bright, colorful mesh. It's durable. The outsole is as sharp as it can be. It's it's a great sneaker. You really can't go wrong with a Minimus, even though some people might say it's a little interesting. It's different. It takes some time to get used to, but I absolutely love it. It's my third pair of Minimuses that I got this year, and I'm gonna keep wearing them, keep rocking them because you can run in them, you can do the performance aspect, and then you can go ahead and style them. So it's a complete sneaker in my opinion, but it's not for everybody.
Fair enough. It's our list. If anyone doesn't like it,
Right.
they can write in and just suck it up because this is our list, and we'll keep doing what we want to do. So number 4, this is going to be my number 4 shoe of the year. This is the 991 V2. Again, a 991 V2. I said it was going to be in the list a lot. So this is the Up There and Melbourne kind of collaboration with New Balance. It was almost an unofficial New Balance collaboration. It was kind of an exclusive release with an Australian and Korean retailer. So they had the pack of, the blue, the pink, the green, the red colorway, and they exclusively released in certain stores around the world. You could only get them in those stores. The resale on these ones is not very high, but that's nice. If you really want to pick them up, you can. I think there was still a lot of quantity available. They sat very, for a fairly long time. I think it's because of the yellow color. To be honest, the yellow color is probably a lot of people's least favorite of that pack. I know my favorite was the blue colorway, but I still wanted to pick up this yellow one just because it was an Australian release, and I was really excited about that one. They're very comfortable. The suede is absolutely premium, as you would expect in like a premium made in England 991 V2. This one was pretty nice. Any thoughts on this one, Sam, for my number 4 pick?
I love it. I love the yellow. I think yellow is great. My favorite one out of the pack was the green one. I thought about picking that up recently, but you can't go wrong with this yellow. I thought it was very cool how they released them in different like regions. I think the closest one to me was the Baltimore release, which I wasn't a fan of. I think it was the blue one, just because I have the dazzling blue
Mm.
991 V2, and it was very similar to that. But great sneaker, unique. The colors, you probably won't see that ever again on a 991 V2, and the mesh is pretty sweet. So easily up there for one of the top sneakers.
Yeah, very nice. Number 4 for Sam. We're going to move on real quick. Is the Up There. Well, speaking of Up There, there you go. Up There 860 V2 in the Blossom colorway. So this was a bit of a shock drop, a bit of a surprise release. So walk us through why this is your number 4 pick.
I just think this is like a beautiful sneaker, like the sparkly mesh. just the colors. It's a complete sneaker. And I actually got this because you sent me the link. I remember I just like rolled out of bed for whatever reason. I checked my phone at like 4 a.m. Like, what's this? And I was like, all right, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And I just bought it at like 4 a.m. I love it to death. I think Up There did a great job with their 860. Yeah, the 860 V2.
Hmm.
And the extra laces really make it. There's no Up There branding, but I think that makes it even better just because you wouldn't know that this is such a great pair. But I love it.
Very nice. Very nice. Love this pick as number four. They I got this shoe as well, obviously. I haven't yet worn it, like out yet, simply because we've had a few rainy days here in Australia. I've also, went on holiday, so I didn't want to take this one. But this is going to be, worn a lot throughout Christmas and the summertime here in Australia. It's obviously winter where you are right now. You probably have some snow, some rain.
Yeah.
So I recommend, just because of the nature of the shoe, I'd recommend waiting until summer to pop these ones out. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll definitely be shelving these until the spring and summer months. As much as I want to wear it, that is like the most spring/summer shoe you can buy.
Mm.
So I'll be saving that for a nice sunny day.
Mm. What are your thoughts on this? I've noticed a little bit on like the kind of Instagram, kind of I suppose Reddit as well a little bit. You see a shoe that gets released, you see the hype kind of around the initial release. You see the kind of leak photos, the promo photos, and then you see it actually released. You see a bunch of reviews, and then it basically just goes silent for like 4 or 5 months, and then all of a sudden they'll just pop back up randomly on Instagram or something and be like, "Oh, that's right, I remember that shoe." Like kind of like those 1906 lavas. I've seen those a little bit. People like kind of digging through their closet and being like, "Oh, that's right, I bought this shoe this year." What are your thoughts on that kind of, I suppose, rebirth of shoes? I really actually enjoy kind of rediscovering some things like that. We can move so quickly. I really like that rediscovering aspect of shoes.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think what makes sneakers so interesting is that there's a life for it. You know, the release, everyone's excited, everyone forgets about it, realize how amazing it is, and then it gets brought back into the cycle. It's a never-ending thing, and I think that's fun because then, like you said, you find it in your closet, you're like, oh, I forgot about these, and then you wear them, you enjoy them, and then it's just a constant rotation. And I think it's really exciting.
Yeah, yeah, I really like that kind of that aspect, and I think that it sometimes shoes take a while to marinate is the best word.
Absolutely.
And they're seasonal as well, such as these shoes. That's why we're talking about it. It's kind of a summer shoe,
Right.
so you're probably going to see these a lot in America when summer rolls around. So very nice. That's number four. My number three pick. Here we go. This is the controversy. This is the 1906L. So this one is, I thought, how do I describe it? It was one of the most controversial. It was one of the most loved. It was one of the most unique shoes of the year. Not just New Balance. I thought overall. I picked these ones up. They sold out very, very quickly. So these were the silver color. These ones were just a general release, no collaboration with these at all. I picked these up in like a half size up just because of the kind of recommendation, and I think that's definitely right. If you go with these shoes, the half size up is definitely worth it. And then recently, I also picked up while I was on holidays the black color, the leather Junior Watanabe black color as well. So these are going to be, popped out in any sort of formal occasion that I can find. Whether black or silver kind of works, that's to be determined. I do like the way they fit. The colorway is very nice, and they're kind of a head turner. Actually, they're not really a head turner. They're kind of an under the radar sleeper kind of
Yeah.
thing. People see them and they're like, "Wait, show me those."
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on the loafer in general from New Balance?
I mean, to most people, it'd be a big head scratcher. Like, what are you wearing? Like, but when you look at it and you appreciate New Balance like you and I do, I think they're great. Like, I remember showing my dad these, and he was like, "You cannot get those. Like, those are terrible." I couldn't believe they sold out as quick as they did. I don't know if they were just not releasing pairs or that many people wanted them, but I mean, come on, it's functionality, it's style, it's fashion. I mean, I think what New Balance says is just they said just buy it and wear it, and you'll understand. I would love to pick up a pair soon. But yeah, it's so interesting and so it's almost like comical. It's just funny that New Balance decided to make a loafer out of a running shoe, and I love it.
Yeah, there's definitely There's definitely going to be more colorways coming. They had a kind of a grey, browny blue color that came out as well.
Mhm.
Didn't pick that one up because I was pretty happy with two already, and I think unless there's like a really nice kind of blue one, I'm pretty set on just two. It's kind of one of those shoes where it has a purpose. It's kind of meant for a
Mhm.
certain occasion, and I think that certain occasion really only lends itself to having a grey or black color. So maybe a white as well if you really want to pop out. But I definitely think that just for what this shoe did in the kind of conversational space around sneakers and kind of the attention that it drew, I think this definitely deserves to be number 3 on my list. Number 3 on Sam's list. Here we go. Big hitter, big bopper right here. This is the Action Bronson 1906 Medusa Azul. This one is going to be on a lot of people's top 10 list, even at the top of the top 10. So I'm actually kind of surprised it's your number 3, if I'm honest. So run us through why you love this sneaker and what's going on with this for your number 3 pick.
So I love Action Bronson, favorite collaborator ever. I think this shoe is a 10 out of 10. I was so happy to finally get it. I got it for retail, got super lucky with it. I feel like he's done a good job of pleasing the consumer and making his shoes accessible to people. But this shoe right here, the materials, the mesh, the reflectives, the details, he really took his time on this sneaker, and I don't think any other creator could make a shoe like this. I just think it's phenomenal. Purple laces, obviously you get the Action Bronson round laces. Just it's all one color, but it works together so well. You got the mud guard, which is like a rubber canvas, super durable. I love it to death. The reason it's my number three is because I felt like I couldn't have like so much Action Bronson at the top of my list. I mean, but I had to put it at three. It's amazing. I love it so much. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I don't have it. I kind of had to pick between getting the Rosewater one and this one, and I don't know. I felt like I had enough kind of blue black kind of runners, and I mean, I don't know what it is, but it felt like this one was a little bit more accessible to people. Kind of as you said,
Mhm.
after the Rosewater released, these were a little bit more accessible to people, and I'm going to admit it that sometimes I'm a little bit of a sucker for exclusivity. Perhaps sometimes if a shoe is more rare, I'm kind of more intrigued in it, just simply because
Mhm.
not as many people have it. But I definitely did get a little bit of FOMO when these did release. It's kind of like what's going on right now with the Orally 990 V4s. It seems like everyone got that shoe, everyone
Yeah.
posting about it. And I was like, oh, I kind of wish I did get it, but I kind of missed the boat. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
So, number 3, we're getting into the pointy end of the list. My number 2 pick. Here it is, the 991 V2 in the Silver Turbulence colorway, which is an interesting name. I'm not really sure what color Turbulence is, but we've got this one here. So that is, look at the colors of that, like the muted kind of almost peach color, with the kind of silvery gray colors here. The black around around the ankle and the heel right here. The New Balance Made in England branding on the front there in the kind of peach colors. This was a GR colorway, which a lot of people were very surprised at how nice this shoe was for being a general release. But I think that's classic New Balance, releasing a general release shoe that just pops off and just makes people really stand up and be like, oh wow, the 991 V2 is here to stay. I really enjoy this one, and I think it's deserving of number 2. What are your thoughts on this one, Sam?
I think this is by far the best 991V2 colorway. It kind of reminds me of like a pigeon, like a bird. Like it's the orange and the grays. It's just a great sneaker. Can be worn every day. It's comfortable. It looks great on foot. It's a 991V2. Like it's a perfect sneaker. I love it to death. If I had it, I probably would have put it on my list as well, but it's just a phenomenal sneaker.
It was definitely one of those shoes that people kind of retroactively grabbed, and they were like, oh, kind of like how we were speaking before about the kind of life cycle of the shoes, and they release and then people post a couple pictures and then it kind of comes back a little bit. It's kind of one of those shoes that just people saw and then didn't really think about it, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh wait, that's actually super awesome. And then you look at
Hmm.
the release of I think it's called the Maple Pelican. I don't know why it was called the Pelican, the kind of orange and grey color. I'll grab it in 2 seconds. So this one here as well, kind of in the similar sort of vein of that Silver Turbulence one. It's, you know, incredibly well made. It's well crafted. The orange is a little bit more. It's a little bit brighter than the kind of peach color of the Silver Turbulence one. But again, people were like posting all about this, and it's just a general release color. So, but I think this is classic New Balance. This one didn't make my list yet because I actually haven't worn it yet. I really wanted to wait to do a review on it before I wore it, but this may go into, you know, a retroactive best New Balance. It could be one of my favorite New Balances of all time. Just need to wear it first, and obviously I need to put it on foot and see how they feel, but I'm sure they're going to be awesome. So what were your thoughts about that kind of elevated GRs from New Balance this year?
I mean, I think they did a great job, specifically with the 991V2. Like you said, they are just GR colorways. They don't have Teddy Santas coming in and doing a makeover on the V6 and the 990s. They're just doing this within themselves. And I mean, those two shoes you just showed, I think the one you have in hand is a little better than the one you just showed. Um, they're just great. Like they're very similar, but when I look for a sneaker, I look for comfort, durability, wearability, and versatility. So that checks all the boxes. You can wear it every day. It's comfortable, it looks great, and it's a GR. So you really can't go wrong with these elevated GR colorways. It's great with the classic Castle Rock grays. Like those are perfect, but that's almost as good.
Yeah, I think you're going to be seeing a lot of 991 V2s next year as well. There's also that one from Salehi Bembury that I'm actually pretty excited about, the little purple one. I mean, that looks super
Hmm.
cool. I thought that was going to release this year, but clearly not. So
Yeah, I forgot about that.
that one, when it releases, hopefully will be pretty easy to get. But again, Salehi
Mhm.
Bembury, it's probably not going to be when it comes to those more elevated models. But hey, we could be wrong, and I think that one might be one of the best of 2025. Sneaky, you know, sneak preview of 2025.
Yeah.
So let's go into Sam's number two. So here we are, the Ice Studios Minimus. This one is, again, a Minimus trail shoe. Now, you're going to have to take the lead on this one because, again, I don't have this one. I don't have a Minimus. So give us your thoughts on this and why it is your number two of the year.
So I would say this is probably the most like questionable sneaker I have on my list and why it's so high. I just love the sneaker to death. I love the Minimus, like I said before, but this colorway is just like so playful and so unique. It reminds me of like my childhood almost, like the blocks I used to play with as a kid. I feel like the overall cream white mesh does a good job of making it a neutral sneaker that you can wear. Um, I would say this is more of a stylish, fashionable sneaker than like a performance sneaker, even though it's still a Minimus. I'll probably run and do my activities in the Action Bronson pair, but the pair right here is just phenomenal. It's got the gum outsole. I just love it to death. I really can't explain too much why I love it. It just made sense to me. And as I was making this list, I'm like, this has to be number two. It's just my perfect number two sneaker. So I love it.
And true to size fit?
Yeah, I would give it true to size because it is more of like a wide toe box because it is a minimalist shoe. So you're able to feel around in it. So I would say go true to size for the best fit.
You wouldn't even go down half a size, maybe?
I wouldn't go down half size. They fit pretty perfect on me. The back of the shoe is pretty stretchy, so if you really wanted to go half size down, you probably could. But for me personally, I always just want true to size on all three of my pairs.
Okay, nice. So that's going to be number two. Here we go,
Mhm.
into the big boys. This is it. This is what you've all been waiting for. Without further ado, the number one sneaker on Harrison's list is the Up There 860 V2. Is there any surprise? Was there any doubt? This was probably my favorite of the year. The colors, the green, the blue, the browns, the little pink, the details, the lace shroud. Actually, funny enough, took the lace shroud off just because I wanted to wear it a bit more because the lace shroud was fun. It looks cool, but
Mhm.
it jangles around a bit with the little zip, so I was kind of getting a bit annoyed about that. So, but these are light, these are beautiful. These are definitely deserving of my number one shoe. And obviously, we've had a long time to think about this list. We're getting close to Christmas. It's kind of the end of the year, and this one just kept coming up to me as number one. And you know, when you know, and this was just, I just have to keep this at number one. So there's really not much else that can be said about it. It is beautiful. It's comfortable. It's light. It's breezy. It is I'm never going to sell this shoe. I'm never going to get rid of it. Even if someone offered me like $1 million, actually, maybe if someone offered me 1 million, imagine how many shoes you could buy with $1 million.
I know.
Um,
Ridiculous.
but no, I'm kidding. That is definitely my number one shoe of the year. Super happy about that. Give me your thoughts on this one, Sam.
I love the sneaker. I remember we talked about it before it came out. The last podcast we did, we were discussing, and you were really hoping you would get a pair. Obviously, you did.
Hmm.
Up there, like you put me on up there, and I love them. I mean, I got the 860 Blossom pair. I think that pair is better than the Blossom pair. The only reason it's on my list is because I don't own it, but it's a phenomenal sneaker, and I agree with you on that lace cover. It's a little loud. It's fun, um, but you got it. If you want to be able to have functionality, you have to take it off. But great sneaker, definitely easily a number one sneaker. I'm glad it's on your list.
Yep, I think there's really not much else that can be said about it. It's
No,
beautiful. It's very unique. I feel. It's very it feels very Australian somehow. The colors, like if you've ever come to Australia, you'll kind of understand that those colors are colors that we see a lot in our kind of nature, and that's their inspiration really. The kind of greenish floral colors with the kind of purple and sorry, not purple, like pinkish bluey color. You see that a lot in like what are they called? Jacarandas. There's a tree called a jacaranda, which is basically the exact same color as that blue purple that you see on the mesh there. So it's really, really nice, and I really can't be happier with that shoe. Drum roll, please. Here we go.
my number one.
Sam's number one shoe of 2024 is the Rosewater Action Bronson 1906. Now, no surprise, it's going to be an Action Bronson. No surprise that it's going to be in 1906. It was the year of 1906 and Action Bronson. So give us your rundown on your number one shoe of 2024.
This sneaker was easy. I knew as soon as I bought it, it was my number one sneaker. I just love the colors. It is a little like you said, it's based off of women's colorways. But I just the details, the colorway, the materials, the fused overlays. I wore the sneaker from the day I got it. I think I wore it for almost 100 days straight. Like never put on another sneaker. I wear tested it. I beat it up. The reason it's my number one is because I have such a personal connection with it because I did wear it so much. I just love it to death. I feel like it's comfortable. It's held the test of time. A lot of people will probably put this on their list, but it's not my favorite Action Bronson pair. I still like the 990s more, but it's just easily my number one. I wear it all the time till this day. I run in it. I go to the gym in it. I wear it to school. I wear it everywhere. It's just my favorite sneaker. I bought two pairs of it because I love it so much. So there's not much else I can say for it, but I love it to death.
Very deserving, very deserving number one. So I put it at number seven, but I can really see why you put it at number one. It's light, it's comfortable, it's branded, it's color, it's like so it's everything that you kind of want from an Action Bronson collaboration. Um, when you wear it like at school, does anyone like just look at it and be like, oh, okay, okay, I see you? Like, is there any sort of recognition when you wear it?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me questions about it. It is definitely a head turner. Like when I wear it to like I go to the mall, I always like walk in the shoe stores and kind of flex it a little bit. It's just it's a sneaker that looks better worn, in my opinion, and a lot of people like it. A lot of my friends like it. So I mean, it's a very unique. It's a very like you said, it's a very Action Bronson shoe, and it deserves wear. Like I feel like a sneaker you gotta wear.
Yeah. Yeah, I like was literally waiting for these after my holiday. So, as in they were waiting for me. Sorry, I should say. So, definitely going to be putting those on. And again, they're a summery kind of shoe. So it's coming into summer for Australia. So I'm going to be wearing them a lot. I mean, the fused kind of overlay, with the kind of plastic overlay really helps with any sort of weather protection, which is nice.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't be too worried about getting them super dirty, but definitely an awesome, awesome pair and definitely deserving of number one. So here, there we go. Bang, 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 bang. All the way through 20 shoes, some double ups, and then, take what you will from this list. It's again, our personal list. There are probably hundreds of shoes that we missed, general releases, any sort of, collaborations. We kind of missed those ones. So any last thoughts on the overall list and the overall year of New Balance of 2024, Sam?
I think New Balance is still in the takeover. I still feel like they have a lot of room to cover compared to like Nike, but each year they seem to be taking it up a notch, and I'm really excited for what they do in 2025. I feel like this year they did a great job with the collabs and the GRs, and yeah, I feel like our lists are very solid. Again, like they are our opinions, so if you don't like it, like so be it. So yeah, it was great talking with you. Enjoyed every sneaker we talked about.
Yep. It's going to be awesome. And I think 2025 is just going to see New Balance growing even more and more.
Hmm.
It's funny when you do wear New Balance, some people still see them as like dad shoes. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's so not the case anymore, like at
right.
all. It's definitely transcended that. And I think that you could argue that New Balance has the best collaborative style of any
Easily, easily.
artist. Like I saw, I mean, this year obviously a lot of people talking about the AE1 from Adidas being
Hmm.
the shoe of the year overall, and I can see that, and it is kind of a collaboration. However, it's like an athlete shoe, so I don't really consider that a collaboration.
Same.
Nike obviously had a lot of collaborations with boutiques and other sort of artists, but I just feel like New Balance still has that title as the number one collaborative, but
Hmm.
also general release shoe. So, what are your thoughts on the way that they bring in collaborators like, say, Action Bronson or Joe Fresh Goods into their space and kind of give them a license to innovate and make things their own, while also still staying true to the New Balance like essence, so to speak.
Yeah, I feel like what separates New Balance as a brand, speaking in collabs, is it seems like they let the creators do what they want to do. They say, here's the materials you can use, like go have at it. I mean, you look at the Action Bronson 996, the Baklava, that's the most wild, outlandish, crazy shoe ever. Like the fact that that was his first sneaker and it's loved and hated, but I feel like they just look at New Balance collabs and then you look at like Nike collabs. Like I don't know if you saw, like I'm a big Lil Yachty fan. He just dropped the Air Force One. People didn't like it because it was super plain and boring. Like, I know that he had an argument on this the complex sneaker panel about it. I just feel like New Balance gives their creators creative freedom, and that's what separates. It's authentic, it's real, it reflects the artist. So you look at like Action Bronson, Amine, Salehi Bembury, they're putting themselves in the shoe, and they're having fun with it, and that's what makes them different.
I actually didn't know that you're a little Yachty fan.
Yeah, huge.
Huge. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I might upset you, but saying I'm really not a little Yachty fan. I'm not.
really.
Well, I'm not really an R&B fan. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I'm also like I really didn't like what he was saying in on that panel.
Yeah, I
Um,
hated them.
so I mean I know you can be a fan of his music and kind of
Mhm.
his like his style and stuff, but just the personality for me just didn't it just doesn't mesh with who I am, and I just didn't.
Right,
I know you can see a poster of him right behind you.
right.
I appreciate his style, and like I'm not saying he's not a
Uh-huh.
sneakerhead. A lot of people were saying that, like, oh, he's just a guy who got rich and bought a lot of sneakers, but I think he's like genuinely into it. But just
Mhm.
the way that he kind of dismissed Beamer Williams about his opinion
Right.
on a shoe was like a little bit bad in my opinion. So, but I
I
mean,
agree.
we can quickly digress. What were your thoughts on his Air Force One?
I mean, I personally, I don't like Air Force Ones. I'm probably the biggest Air Force One hater of all time. I just don't like them. I think, like you look at it, like the 990 V1 came out the same year as the Air Force, and it's just they're just bricks. They're boring. They're plain. People wear them like they're the greatest shoe of all time, and I'm like, I put a pair on. I'm like, are you like serious? Like you guys think these are comfortable? Like you wear these every day. You buy multiple pairs. Go try a 574. Go try like something comfortable. Because like you put that on for a whole day, your feet are tired. You put on a 990, your feet will be asking for more. It's like people are just so like, and it's also it goes back to like people in the culture. Like that's what people wear. Like that's just what's cool. Everybody wants the Air Force, the all whites. It's just like you gotta experience other brands and other shoes. I'm not a fan of the Air Force One.
Wow, I did not think that we were going to go there on this top 10 New Balance sneaker
I
list,
had to. I had to.
but but damn. So I mean, I kind of agree with you. Like we're nearly at an hour on this podcast, but I'm happy to keep going about this Air Force debate could go on forever, and maybe we'll do it on a different podcast. But yeah, I'm kind of with you with the Air Force. It's not really my type of shoe. It's not my type of comfort. They also look very big on me. Like they're very thick, and my legs are like long and lanky. They just don't fit my style. But obviously, the legacy is there. I just didn't like the way
Mhm.
that Lil Yachty was like, this is the greatest collaboration of the year. I just thought it was super lazy, in my opinion.
Mhm.
A little
I
bit,
agree.
little bit lazy. I know the details are there, the kind of co-branding and stuff like that. But yeah, not an Air Force fan. But I think we should probably wrap it up because people aren't
Yeah.
here to listen to New Balance. To Nike takes, and they've probably hopped off already. So anyway, we'll end it there. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. I'll link Sam's Instagram and his YouTube channel down below in the description. So thank you so much to everybody. We hope you liked our lists. If you didn't, let us know what you thought about them in the comments. Hit us up on Instagram if you want to chat more about New Balance. Sam's always open for a discussion. So am I as well. So thank you so much to everybody for watching. You have a good day.